Hey, listeners, this week on the Low Post podcast, we have Chris Herring from 538 talking Carmelo Anthony and the Knicks and the teams we're worried about around the NBA.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you right here on ESPN Radio, as I love to do every weekday afternoon on 98.7 FM in New York, 710 ESPN LA, and of course, Sirius XM, ESPN Radio, Channel 80 nationwide. Number to call up as always is 866-729-ESPN. It's 866-729-3776. Coming at you live from Radio Row in Houston, Texas, home for Super Bowl 51, home of the Texas Medical Center, the world's largest medical center, innovating solutions to improve the health of humanity. I usually don't start my show off with guests, and forgive me if my voice sounds jacked up. I am not feeling sick. I do not have the bug like I did for the national championship game in Tampa a couple of weeks back, but I have lost my voice. It don't matter, though, because I'm still here, and I got my next guest, a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, been in the league since 2005, four-time Pro Bowler, got over 1,000 tackles on his career, handles his business. The one and only Derek Johnson's right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. What's up, Big Tom? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
I'm not blaming you. It's not your fault. But, damn it, I'm going to start off the show asking the question anyway. What the hell happened to the Chiefs? What happened?
Man, you know what? It's hard to go all the way. Everything's kind of got to line up the right way going through. My experience throughout the league, everything's got to be right. So it's one of those things where you know, I got hurt late in the season.
Right.
You know, I help my team as much as I can, but us, you know, not stopping the run on defense. We were really good in the red zone. The turnover margin was really good for us, but we couldn't turn that corner where we need to do to help our team win.
See, once again, it's the diplomacy on the part of you defensive players. I was doing First Take on television this morning. I had T.J. Ward from the Denver Broncos on there. He talking about, you know what, defense, you know, everybody, you know, we just didn't get the breaks. I'm sitting there going like this. I'm looking at Kansas City's defense. Y'all kept Pittsburgh out the end zone. They got their red zone 6 times. 6 times they couldn't score a damn touchdown. And your offense couldn't score. So I'm not asking you to call anybody out. You can lead that to me. But I'm just saying to myself, don't we get to a point with Kansas City, with the coaching that you have, with the defensive personnel that y'all have in place, with Eric Berry and the crew, and the way y'all Peters and the boys, and the way y'all are able to make plays along with yourself, don't you get to a point as a defensive player where you look at the team and say, damn, can we get some offense? Can we do that?
Well, you know what? They've gotten better. They've gotten a lot better. Alex Smith is doing a great job by not turning. I'm a defensive guy, so when he doesn't turn the ball over, we love that. Right. We don't like sudden change stuff. But, I mean, without that call, that holding call, I don't want to bring it up. But
I was going to bring it up anyway, so go ahead.
You know what? Without that, I mean, we're right in there. It's one of those things where Pittsburgh has a pretty good, you know, stout defense, so I don't want to take nothing from them. But we're almost there. I mean, we don't have it all cooked up. But at the same time, Kansas City is a team that you know, at some point we have to get that first seed. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, nobody wants to go to the Patriots and play them in the championship AFC game. Mm-hmm. So if we can get people to come to Kansas City for the AFC championship game, I'm sure we can close the deal.
But you did lose that game to Pittsburgh at Arrowhead.
We did.
Now, do you feel that was a holding penalty, or do you roll with your boy Travis Kelce with what he said?
It was definitely not a holding penalty. Tamba Ali, Justin Houston, that happens every play. That happened every play. And I don't think you call that call.
I agree with that.
Not in that situation.
I agree with that.
And he wasn't, I mean, he slipped. It was, you know, he would push past the quarterback. That's a hard call. And they have a hard job. I don't want to say they have a really hard time, a really hard job, but you don't call that at that time. But if it needs to say, there's plenty of plays in the game where we need to make it happen.
Linebacker Derek Johnson for the Kansas City Chiefs right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. I've got the Patriots winning this game. I'm just going to put my prediction out there front and center because I hadn't done so all week. I got the Patriots winning this game 38-34. I think Atlanta got a high-powered offense, but that secondary, the youth in that secondary, to me, is something we're not talking about enough. As a defensive player in the NFL who has been on a field against Tom Brady, I just have a very difficult time comprehending how a 23, a 24, a 26-year-old dude who's never played on this stage is going to stop some dude 39 years of age in his seventh Super Bowl who's won 4 out of 6. Talk to me about that. How do you feel about that?
You know what? That's the key. Everybody's trying to see if Atlanta's defense is going to match up, or how good are they going to play? Are they going to, because they're very inconsistent throughout the season. So everybody knows that, and everybody knows the Atlanta offense. I played against them. Almost impossible to stop. And, you got to make some plays. That's what we did when we went down there. And it's crazy you said it's going to be 38-34. I think the same exact thing.
Wow.
But I think Atlanta would jump out on them. I think everybody would, get all, crazy about it. The adjustments that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady makes during the game, they're one of the best at it. So I think they'll come back, and it will be a shootout.
See, here's where I disagree with you. If New England's going to win this game, Atlanta cannot jump out at them. If Atlanta jumps out on them, I don't care what adjustments Bill Belichick makes. With that high-powered offense, even though you might serve to neutralize them, you can't – to stop these boys, I'm saying you can't let them jump out to any kind of lead like that. Maybe if you score first, but it can't be like 14-0, 21-0 like they did against Green Bay in that NFC Championship game.
True. I'm thinking like a 17-7 jump out on you.
Mm-hmm.
But they will. I think they will jump out on you, and I think Patriots are pretty good at adjustment. I really think they can still come back. But I got you. If you get too far ahead, if you get a 17-point lead, that's hard to come back with Matt Ryan, what he's doing.
Illuminate for me, what is it like going up against the Patriots? It's not Foxborough. It's a neutral site now, which is the Super Bowl. But even without Gronkowski, they are here. People look at Brady, they think system or they think his greatness. They vacillate back and forth. Where are you on that? Is it about the system and the brilliance of Bill Belichick, or is it about the greatness of Tom Brady?
I think it's more about the greatness of Tom Brady. I'm a player, so players make coaches. Players make coaches. A coach has told me that before. The coach is only good as his players, and the system that Tom Brady has succeeded in through all the different, sometimes no-name receivers, man, he gets everybody right. He gets it. Defensively, you got to be sharp. Anybody who messes up, he's going to capitalize off of it right there. So even though it's a neutral site, you got 2 weeks to prepare. I think they'll match touchdown for touchdown with the Falcons.
I got distracted. I'll get back to the Super Bowl for a second. I got distracted looking at your shirt, Trigger Point, and then I just read a little something about Trigger Point, and I heard the word massage. Yeah. Now, see, I have a little fetish. I like massages. You understand what I'm saying? It matters to me. It's important. I don't have to be an NFL player for massages to matter. Talk to me about Trigger Point here, because I know you're in here endorsing this. Talk to me about this.
Definitely. Trigger Point therapy is something that I use before the games and before practice. I'm a guy, the young guys always say, the ball, when we're watching film, I got the ball up under my my hamstrings, massaging it, getting the muscles loose before practice, and I lay it, I put it on the ground and lay on it for my hip flexors. Mm-hmm. I'm an older guy, so little things like this product with the foam rolling, getting my muscles right, because when we get out there on the field, we turk our bodies all kind of ways, so our bodies are really beat up. So this Trigger Point stuff really helps me. So,
how much do you need Trigger Point, considering the fact that you play at Arrowhead? Because I went to Kansas City. I had to speak to Kansas City a few months ago. Damn it, it's cold there. It's cold there. Okay, and I'm like, if it's that cold, yeah, I would think you need Trigger Point even more.
That's true. And it's about getting new blood into your muscle. That's how you recover. That's how things. It's about being healthy, staying healthy, and coming back from this injury, this Achilles, a second Achilles injury. I need this stuff to get me right, to get back on the field. So
now, Trigger Point, is that just the device that you use, or is there somebody that helps you employ Trigger Point to make the massage more effective?
Well, yes.
It's a very important question.
Well, they are. And it's all about, you can't get a massage, or the average person can't get a massage all the time. You know what I mean? Maybe us, or maybe you can. But with the ball, you can do it yourself, and they just teach you certain movements on the ground, and you can do it all self-motivated stuff. So, I mean, it's great stuff for to keep your muscles loose.
Listen, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you. Thank you.
The team, I love Andy Reid. Andy Reid and I go back a long way. It's our days in Philadelphia. Your boy Ted Cruz is my man. He's cool people, too. So good luck to you moving forward. All the best to you. You got New England winning this, right?
I got New England winning it, 38-34, same as you. I don't know. I think you took.
No, I just think great minds think alike.
Good deal.
That's what the deal is. It's great minds think alike. Thanks so much, Derek Johnson, linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. The biggest medical center on earth isn't found on the East Coast or the West Coast. It's found in Houston, Texas, America's third coast. Houston is home to the Texas Medical Center, or what they call TMC. It's the largest medical city on the planet. Each year, the TMC's 21 hospitals serve over 8 million patients. Its 3 medical schools and 6 nursing schools educate tomorrow's medical leaders. More doctors, nurses, and scientists work at the TMC than any other site in the world. With over 100,000 employees, it's the 8th largest business district in America. Every 3 minutes, a surgery begins at the TMC. Every 20 minutes, a baby is born. The Texas Medical Center leads the world in clinical research. TMC doctors and scientists are at the forefront of life-saving medical advances, developing new treatments, drugs, and devices to improve the health of humanity. Find out more about the innovations happening at the Texas Medical Center at tmc.edu. 866-729-ESPN is the number to call up. That's 866-729-3776. Got a bevy of guests coming your way because we're live right here on Radio Row in Houston, Texas, site of Super Bowl 51. Stick around. Don't touch that dial. A whole bunch of Super Bowl talk is coming your way. It's Stephen A. It's ESPN Radio.
Reverse jam brings them to their feet here in Cleveland.
LeBron James and the Cavaliers once again have the best record in the Eastern Conference and are storming toward the 1 seed.
Hits it at the buzzer.
Do they have what it takes to repeat as champions?
Kyrie Irving. Come on. Hangs and hooks it in. Are you kidding me? Seriously?
This Saturday night, they head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Presented by GNC.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm going to get into in a little bit about why I made my pick of the New England Patriots beating the Atlanta Falcons 38-34 in Super Bowl 51. Tyrod Taylor, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, is scheduled to be up here any minute now. But before he gets here, let me go to the phones at 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. Let's go to Randy in Oklahoma. You're live with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. What's up, Randy?
Hey, Stephen A., thanks for taking my call, man. With the hiring of John Lynch, I got to thinking, with the Rooney Rule, you're telling billionaire owners that they have to do something. So do you think that they're going into those interviews with a closed mind and not really giving these minority coaches or GMs?
We've seen some people hired. We've seen African-American coaches hired in Denver as well as San Diego, now the Los Angeles Chargers. So we can't say that. And keep in mind that the owners are told that they need to interview individuals. They're not told they need to hire them. You can still hire the best qualified candidate, but the issue was exclusion. The fact is you weren't giving them an opportunity to be heard. You weren't giving them an opportunity to showcase their talents and their abilities and what have you. And so when you look at it from that perspective, there's nothing to be offended by. You should be inclusionary in regards to who you talk to, especially when you have no obligation to hire them. I mean, just think about that for a second. I think people take it a step further, Randy, and assume that, oh my goodness, who the hell is anybody to tell us what to do? Like, you have to spend your money on this person. You have to hire them. No. But in corporate America, think about whatever corporation you look at. You literally have to interview minority candidates. And not only that, sometimes you have to hire them. Why? Because if you don't do that, it highlights what you're not bringing to the table. And that's something you got to pay attention to, Randy.
Thanks for the call, Stephen A.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the call. Good to have my next guest. Always love seeing this brother. I've been waiting to talk to this man because unlike a lot of folks out there who might sit up there and talk about cats but never want to talk to them, I'm the opposite. I like to talk to them even while I'm talking about them. I'm talking to the Buffalo Bills quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, sitting right in front of me. First things first, these hats look beautiful. Why? What are you here promoting during Super Bowl week?
I'm here on behalf of New Era. They just dropped this hat today.
That's right. It's kind of fly.
Yeah,
it's kind of fly.
Got the battery. You can light it up.
It's got a battery in it. The hat lights up and stuff like this. Lights on the hat, for crying out loud.
And it's only $180. That's not too bad, considering I was wearing a $2,500 hat last year.
Excuse me. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you. Got red. What is these, stars or dots? What is diamonds? What the hell is on these hats?
I guess it's simulating stars. More of a night thing. If you're in Houston and you want to come get it, it's definitely a nice hat you could wear out.
Okay.
I believe it's only 144 of them, so you're in the elite class as far as getting the hats.
I got you. I appreciate that. And this is on the NFL and on part of the NFL, correct?
Yep, it's on NFLshop.com.
All right, NFLshop.com. That's where you can go to look at these hats. They are pretty fly. A matter of fact, I'm almost mad you only brought one for me. I mean, this is pretty fly. We're talking to Tyrod Taylor, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Before we get into the Super Bowl talk, let's talk about you a little bit. Kind of rough year.
Yeah.
All right. I saw you get a bit annoyed at the media and stuff like that. Didn't blame you. I understand. What was going on this year, man? Why did this year end up being subpar for you guys?
Injuries. I didn't play as well as I could have. Other guys didn't play as well as they could have either. It's just more of a collective thing. We've done some good things. It just wasn't as consistent as we would like to be. But looking back on it, I will say we've done a lot of good things. It was good to have Sammy back towards the end of the year. Shady had a phenomenal year.
Right.
We got Charles Clay going towards the end of the year. But like I said, it was probably just a lack of consistency that definitely took us from being the team that we wanted to be.
What got to you as the season progresses? You could just see, because listen, I talk to you, we always talk every year when I see you. If I see you someplace else, we always holler at each other. I certainly, I wasn't the one in Buffalo interviewing you, that's for sure. But you always seem incredibly composed, very generous, very nice, class personified. You worked your tail off throughout your NFL career to get in a position to be a starting quarterback. Absolutely. And you always saw the forest from the trees. This year, as the season waned, it seemed to get to you a little bit. Why was it getting to you?
It was more so just the media in Buffalo. I feel like it's a very negative group. And for the reasons, the winning hasn't been a tradition around there.
Right.
So, I understand that they fed up with it. They want a team to get it to the playoffs, but I also felt like they were attacking the wrong things at the wrong time. And it wasn't fair to me at the time, but this game isn't fair. And I could have carried it a different way looking back on it, but I think that also sparked some things as far as my teammates go. To see me react the way that I did, I definitely think that it made them look at me a different way as well too.
How do you think they looked at you differently compared?
Just to let them know that I wasn't just going to continue to keep standing right there and taking the things that they were saying. Like I said, I think at the time that they were attacking the wrong things. Could we have been better collectively as a group? Yes, but the things that they were questioning, if you really watch film, then you would see that wasn't the case.
Last question on this matter. What was it that you wanted to say so badly that you couldn't say? Damn it, do y'all watch them? Do you see that Sammy Watkins has missed 8 games? What was it that you wanted to scream at them so badly that you never did?
I think that more so just that attacking the offense. I would say the offense played well at times. The defense played well at times, too. We just couldn't get on the same page. And I would more so just question, were they really watching the film, or were they just trying to put numbers together and taking questions from those numbers versus actually just breaking down film? Like you said, I was without Sammy. That's not an excuse. Guys go without their top receivers a lot. But also take that into consideration as well, too. But it's behind us. Just learn from it. Just got to continue to get better.
How do you feel about Rex Ryan being gone? How do you feel about the new coach in place?
Rex was a great guy, still is a great guy. Gave me an opportunity to play quarterback in this league, to compete at a level to give me an opportunity to play. So I'll always love him for that. The new coach, Coach Sean McDermott, I've had a chance to talk to him a number of times now with me being in Buffalo rehabbing. And he seems like a great guy. And I've heard nothing but good things from other players, other coaches as well, too. We've actually shared a bunch of relationships in the past with him being from the Philadelphia background and coaching with Coach Harbaugh and Coach Spagnolia, Coach Juan Castillo, who I was with him in Baltimore, and even bringing in Coach Rick Dennison, who is my quarterback coach in Baltimore as well, too. So We'll see how things play out. I definitely want to be in Buffalo, but we'll see how things play out.
I appreciate that last comment about him bringing in your guy that you worked with before in Baltimore, because when I heard the name Sean McDermott, I was like, Dan, he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
You're an offensive guy. How does it help Tyrod Taylor? But forget all of that. Who you got for this Super Bowl?
I got Atlanta.
Wow. You play against Brady twice a year. He's given it to y'all on several occasions.
Yeah,
and you're just going to pick against Tom Brady. Why? Explain yourself, Tyrod Taylor.
First off, Buffalo can't root for the Patriots in any
So basically what you're expressing to me is you scared to go home. You scared to go back to Buffalo if you pick New England. That's what you're saying?
I honestly Matt Ryan, I feel like they're on a roll. I think they got a very talented group. Both sides are definitely talented. But I think that Atlanta can run away with it. They definitely have to take care of the football. They definitely have to be smart with playing against the Patriots. But I think that they definitely have a team that can win this game.
I'm proud of you, man.
See, though.
Keep doing your thing. Keep your head up. You want to stay in Buffalo.
Yeah.
You ain't trying to leave. But damn it,
I'm
better
under
not
contract.
That's right.
So.
But basically, they better not push you out the door. Basically, that's what you're saying. I'm just saying.
You said it.
I said it. Tyrod Taylor right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. 866-729-ESPN is your number to call up. That's 866-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
Guess what?
You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it!
You know something? My 38-34 prediction for this Super Bowl, with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots walking away with their 5th Super Bowl crown. If there's anybody capable of correcting my level of expertise, it's somebody who's a true expert as opposed to one pretending to be one like me. That would happen to be the great Merrill Hodge, my colleague extraordinaire on the NFL at ESPN. What's up, buddy? Good afternoon, man. Always great to talk to you. How you doing, Merrill?
Love you, my brother. Everything's good, brother.
Talk to me, first of all. Let's break this down. Who you got?
You're not far off, buddy. But I'm going to start out with this. Teams win championships. I always say that. People go, oh, defense wins it. Well, no, it doesn't, because if that's the case, the Texans would be here and they'd win it. Best quarterback wins it. No, that's not the case, because Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they'd win it every year. Teams win it. And the thing I think, Stephen A., that most impresses me, and this may sound boring, and sometimes it's very hard to show to the fans in a highlight-driven shows like we do, but they're the most fundamentally sound team I really have seen in 10 years. How they do it every day, every game, how they play defense, how they play offense. It's incredible to watch. Guys that didn't play well on one team come over and start playing better on another team. Because they coach them, the way they coach them, the way they teach them, what they expect on the field. It's tough to beat, Stephen A. And it's been one of the toughest Super Bowls as far as really looking at strengths and weaknesses. Atlanta's got a heck of a team. They do. They got a very good team. And I'm not trying to slide them at all. I just think that execution that they have across the board as a team is going to be the difference.
So you're going with the New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl, just so I'm clear.
Yep, 34-31, brother.
I got New England 38-34. You've got New England 34-31. Let me ask you this question. Of all the things you brought up, to me, what ultimately propelled me to picking Tom Brady to win this Super Bowl is that despite the young Lions that the Atlanta Falcons have, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, although they may have some of them on the defensive side of the ball, the word young, as in youth, comes into play for me. I'm thinking about guys that are 21, 22, 23, 26 years of age that have never been on this big of a stage going up against Tom Brady, universally recognized as the greatest quarterback of this generation, who's playing in his 7th Super Bowl, who's coming off an MVP caliber season. And, oh, by the way, he's 39 years of age. That matters to me, Merrill Hodge. How much does that matter to you when you're breaking down the outcome of this game?
Well, listen, it's significant because – and I'll only use – and I know it's not the Carolina Panthers, but let's use the Carolina Panthers as an example. As a whole, the first part of that game, especially their offense, they were playing fast. They were all over the place. I mean, there were running lanes early in that game that running backs were missing because they were out of control. And when you talk about this stage, and how will a player handle it when you've never been on it, it's a tough thing to gauge. Now, listen, I didn't play in the Super Bowl, but I played in a lot of playoffs, and I can tell you this, the first time I got an opportunity on the stage to play, I mean, as a team, we played awesome. You know, we elevated our game, and we did play much more precise, and we were a much better football team on the bigger stage. So that could happen, too. Mm-hmm. I'm actually assuming it does, you know, to be real honest with you. But I just think that still the Patriots are just a slightly better team across all three phases. And I'll tell you this, if Atlanta is to win this, there's something, Stephen, that's critical in Super Bowls and critical in the NFL. And I think we've talked about it before on your show. You must control the tempo of the game. And Atlanta, you know, everybody's talking about how explosive they are, and they are, and they can do a lot of different things. But they also have the ability, and may be forced into this too, quite honestly, because I think the Patriots will say, listen, let's keep things in front of us. If they can execute 7 to 12 plays and score touchdowns, they're better than us. Can they do that consistently? They may force them into doing that. If Atlanta has prepared to do those things and is capable with their running game and the way they throw the football, teams in the Super Bowl history who have controlled the ball, the tempo and the ball for 35 minutes are 15-1. Only the Carolina Panthers have lost doing that. And they even had a chance at the end of the game, and they fumbled the ball away, and turnovers is the biggest indicator. They do have that ability. And each one of these teams actually does. So whoever can actually do that, to me, really gives themselves a strong advantage to either create the upset or solidify greatness.
Merrill Hodge right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. You know, as I listen to you speak, I think about Vic Beasley and those 15.5 sacks. I think about an Adrian Claiborne and his 5 sacks. I'm thinking about the ageless wonder that is Dwight Freeney, 36 years of age with his 3 sacks. I'm thinking about the edge pressure that they can provide. I'm questioning what pressure up the middle Atlanta will be able to provide to Tom Brady. And also, Merrill, this guy Deion Jones, we haven't talked about him long enough. He led the league. He led the team in tackles with 75. He's had 165, net yards, 3 interceptions. He's a playmaker. He makes things happen, but he's just 22 years old. I wonder about that, man.
Well, and you should. And listen, I'm gonna tell you this. So is the coaching staffs. I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll take you back a little bit of history. The first Super Bowl that Tom Brady and the Patriots ever did win. And I can't remember his name, and it's not important because I wouldn't want to beat up on the kid. But in the Rams game, on the defense, the last drive, there was a rookie linebacker for the Rams. They were playing zone-type coverages. And, in fact, I'm watching the tape after the game because we used to do the Super Bowl wrap-up show. And it looks odd because this one linebacker is just doing something completely different than everybody else. So Jaws and I get in this argument. We're like, man, he thinks it's a particular coverage they're playing on that last drive. I said, Josh, there's no way. Because every time the place you're supposed to be, they complete a pass, either the back out of the backfield or some crossing route. Troy Brown, who scores one of the big plays, and I forget who else the other guy was, but those 2 plays get him in field goal range. Well, I make a call and talk to some of the defensive staff for the Rams, and it was their rookie. It was their rookie in that game that decided he wanted to be a hero on the last drive, and he was going to go be the MVP. And so he jumps out of character, does his own thing, tries to be a hero, and really robs the Rams of having winning the Super Bowl. Right. He's just where he's supposed to be. Now, listen, Tom Brady can't throw it there. I know that. Now maybe he still completes it. Now that just creates all of this mystery because you don't know how one guy will play. Now he may play rock solid, but I'll tell you this, something that Atlanta is going to do in this game that nobody, I think, gives them credit for doing, and they have been doing, and they've been doing really well. Stephen, they play a lot of man, and they're good. And I expect that. And in their zone concepts, they're good too, but they will lock up and they will play man. And the pressures you just talked about, they have enough of those to create havoc. You mix those two together, which Atlanta can do. They have done. They're very good at it. It could give the Patriots fits.
Right, but you're still picking the Patriots to win.
I am. Yeah, and listen, can't predict turnovers. You know, you can't predict injuries. But if it's a clean game, I'm going to go back to what I started off saying. Teams win championships, and they're so structurally, fundamentally sound. It is jaw-dropping. I mean, I'm telling you, across the board, everybody, I know that cliche you hear out of there, do your job. Well, doing your job is having good fundamentals and technique, okay? Well, they're unbelievable. They are unbelievable.
Are you ready for this? Merrill Hodge, you just broke down why New England ended up winning that first Super Bowl against the St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf, who were 14-2. Do you know who the defensive coordinator was?
Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith.
And I'll tell you this, to Lovie Smith's credit, and I should have said his name. I didn't want to because I didn't want to put him.
Yeah.
He tells me, I called him up and I said, hey, Coach, I just want to ask you about these plays. And he's like, oh, yeah, Merrill. He goes, this is where I got a coach has all the power but no control, Stephen A. Not only just playing, but this one really solidified it. Of course, he was taught to do the right thing all week, but chose not to do the right thing at the critical moments. And he's like, right. And to Lovie Smith, he said, hey, Merrill, don't kill the kid. He was like, and now I wasn't going to kill the kid. It was just like, this is why they lost.
That's right.
And he's crazy. And I'm thinking, he just lost it. I mean, one kid, a young kid, really kind of maybe robbed the team of winning the Super Bowl. And I'm like, oh man, that's why. Listen, when the Patriots, you talk about doing the right thing, trusting you're going to do the right thing, and if they don't think you are, they get rid of you. That is one thing he tested. It reminds me of Chuck Noll. When I played for Chuck Noll, I'm telling you, Stephen A., he tested you in the fire before he threw you in the fire because he knew if he could trust you. And if he couldn't, you're gone.
Got you.
And you could be gone right in the middle of practice or in training camp. But you're gone.
Merrill Hodge, I appreciate you, man. I'll be watching you all weekend long as you break down the Super Bowl 51 matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots. Thanks a lot as always, buddy. You take it easy.
Good luck. See you today.
The one and only Merrill Hodge, NFL analyst extraordinaire for ESPN, right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. 866-729-ESPN is always the number to call up. That's 866-729-3776. Back with your calls and more guests live from Radio Row, site of Super Bowl 51 in Houston, Texas. Your phone calls and more in a minute.
Reverse jam brings them to their feet here in Cleveland.
LeBron James and the Cavaliers once again have the best record in the Eastern Conference and are storming toward the 1 seed.
Hits it at the buzzer.
Do they have what it takes to repeat as champions?
Kyrie Irving, come on. Hangs and hooks it in. Are you kidding me? Seriously?
This Saturday night, they head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Presented by GNC.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Got to roll with New England. But I got to tell you something. Atlanta can win this game, too. I mean, I will be honest with you. I did not decide who I was going to pick until 10 minutes before First Take came on the air today. Until 10 minutes before First Take came on the air today. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio, 98.7 FM in New York, 710 ESPN LA, and, of course, the Sirius XM ESPN Channel 80. 866-729-3776 is the number to call up. That's 866-729-ESPN. That is the number to call up. R.J. Bell, are you there?
Yes, I am, Stephen.
I'm talking about my resident handicapper, my expert out of Vegas, founder for pregame.com, the official odds maker for the Associated Press, the man, the myth, the legend, is on the show with yours truly right now, the one and only R.J. Bell. His Twitter handle, by the way, is @RJ in Vegas. What's going on, Big Time? How are you?
Oh, man, talk about big time. I can just imagine you down in Houston because I saw you here in Vegas, Mayweather-Pacquiao. Big press room, Radio Row. Everyone walks in, a lot of big faces, big names. People kind of look up, look down. You walked in. It was like Elvis walking in. I'm telling you, this is the truth. This is the truth. I got to tell you something.
Usually I would try to deny such things, but it's clearly obvious. My popularity has definitely elevated exponentially, and I have figured out the reason why, RJ. You know why it's happening, RJ?
Because you're tall.
Because I'm on General Hospital today.
Oh,
I'm on General Hospital.
Well, what more can you?
I'm on General Hospital today. ABC. Check your local listings. Stephen A. Smith, a.k.a. Brick, the surveillance expert for the mob, is on General Hospital this afternoon.
Really, Stephen, you can retire at this point.
Hey, listen, we only got about 3 minutes or so, RJ. Let's get right to it. Who do you have in this game? Who does Vegas have in this game? Break down the odds to me here, sir.
So the professional batters are pretty strong on Atlanta, plus the 3 points. Remember, this is point spread, +3. And here's the rationale. Stats are excellent for Atlanta. I mean, so good. Number 1 yards per play in the entire NFL. And if you look at the Patriots, their defense, number one scoring, but they had such an easy offensive competition, actually number 32. So I think they're maybe a top 10 D, but nowhere near number one. So why are the Pats favored? It's all about reputation, all about those 6 Super Bowls with Brady and Belichick. Amazing, amazing. But here's the thing, Stephen. 4 times out of those 6 they were favored. 0-4 against the spread.
Well, let me say this about Vegas, what I got a problem with Vegas, because Vegas is quick to point out over the last 6 games, Atlanta's trending in the right direction defensively, giving up only 19 points per game. But Vegas fails to mention you went against the Los Angeles Rams, the San Francisco 49ers, a subpar Carolina Panthers team this year, and, of course, the New Orleans Saints with their no defense have themselves. That's who you went up against before you went up against Russell Wilson in the playoffs. Well, you know what problems existed with their offense this year. And of course, Green Bay, Jordy Nelson wasn't 100%.
Well, listen, let me raise you one on that one, Stephen.
Okay.
Because if we're going to say Russell Wilson, the problems on the offense, well, let's look at New England. Best quarterback they faced the entire regular season, 16 games, was Russell Wilson. You know who the second best quarterback was they faced?
Tyrod Taylor or Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, I think, would be over Taylor in my mind. Imagine playing 16 games and the second best quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. So let's not talk about strength of opposition when the last 2 games have been against Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson.
I must confess, R.J. Bell, you sound very, very disrespectful towards Tom Brady. I mean, this dude has 4 Super Bowl championships. His resume is tried and proven, and I think he's beyond being measured by what he's done in a few games this season. His reputation speaks for itself. What reputation does Atlanta have?
No, I agree with you there. Is Brady, I don't even know if it's a debate, all-time best. But here's the thing. Let's call New England's offense and Atlanta's offense a wash. And to me, that's probably been a little generous to New England without Gronk. But let's say you're right, all right? Now, let's say New England, because they're about 11 on defense based upon the advanced metrics.
Okay.
Let's say Atlanta is just a smidge below that.
Right.
Okay, so Patriots should be maybe a 1-point favorite, maybe 2. When it gets all the way to 3, and remember, pros bet the numbers, Stephen. When it gets to 3, that is such a common number. It's so valuable. If it was pick 'em, just pick the winner, I'm picking the Pats.
I got you.
Atlanta plus 3 is the side.
We got to get on out of here, RJ. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks so much, man. Have a wonderful week. Talk to you next week, all right? You take it easy.
Have fun, Stephen.
And thank you for the season. Thank you for everything that you've done. That's R.J. Bell, our resident handicapper, right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. Hour number 2 up next. More guests live from Super Bowl Row. Do not touch that dial. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.
Sunday, DeAndre Jordan and the Clippers head to Boston to face Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Presented by GNC.
I'm Andy Katz from ESPN, along with my co-host Rick Klein of ABC News. On the latest edition of Capital Gain, we're going to discuss President Trump's controversial executive order. We'll discuss it with Iowa's Peter Jock and SI.com's Michael McCann.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A. Hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show right here with you, coming at you on ESPN Radio, as I love to do. Every weekday morning and afternoon, depending on where you're listening at me from. 98.7 FM in New York, 710 ESPN in L.A., and, of course, the ESPN Sirius XM channel, number 80, nationwide. My honor and privilege to have my next guest starting out hour number 2. Did a damn good job filling in as a running back with the Green Bay Packers, even though he's a wide receiver. But, he could stay healthy. Other people couldn't. He can play. Other people couldn't. And as a result, they got to the NFC Championship game. I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers. Ty Montgomery is right in front of me. What's going on, Big Time? How are you, man? How's everything going?
I'm good. How are you?
How did it feel to be a wide receiver and then find yourself playing running back in the National Football League, even though it was with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback? I imagine you have an attitude. You ain't catching passes from Aaron Rodgers. You're running the football for Aaron Rodgers. What was that like for you?
It was perfect, and it felt like it came at the right time. I had always had the idea of just going ahead and making the switch before they came to me. I played a lot of running back growing up in high school, played some in college. And, I always kind of felt like I was a running back that learned how to play receiver.
But then why the hell were you a receiver at Stanford and then in the NFL before this happened?
Well, because I started playing receiver in high school because Coach asked me to. And I was like, sure. I was a freshman. He was like, you play receiver, you can play on varsity, we can use your speed. We're not going to be running the ball very much. And I said, I'll do whatever it takes. I wanted to play on varsity. Next thing I know, I'm playing receiver on varsity, and college coaches are looking at me. And my goal was to get to the next level. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So I went to the next level as a receiver.
We're talking to Ty Montgomery for the Green Bay Packers right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. So with all of that being said, you guys get to the NFC Championship game. Before you played the Atlanta Falcons, were you shocked that you were there considering all the injuries that you guys had sustained, or was it an expected situation for you guys?
It was an expected situation. I know it was not the ideal situation, and, from the outside looking in, a lot of people, and I can understand, were probably just, you know what? This is a shock. No one expected this to happen, but on the inside, we always had the expectations of going as far as we did, and wanted to be playing in the Super Bowl. But I think we ran out of gas, and too many injuries caught up to us.
Now tell the truth, just for me. It's just between me and you. Nobody has to know this. Nobody has to know this. The best victory of the year for y'all was beating them damn Dallas Cowboys, wasn't it? That had to be the best.
Yeah, I would say so. Especially for me, I would say so.
Why especially for you?
Because all of my family still lives in Dallas, and I was just hearing so much Dallas Cowboys this, Dallas Cowboys that.
Aren't Cowboy fans annoying? Are you a Cowboy? Let me make sure you're not a Cowboy fan.
I grew up a Cowboy fan, but I'm no longer a Cowboy fan.
You know, do not Dallas Cowboy fans annoy you? They could go 3-13. They could go 3-13. Excuse me, because I lost my voice and also. But they could go 3-13 and wake up the next day and go, we're going to win the Super Bowl, right? We're going to win the Super Bowl next year. They don't take a moment to wallow in their stuff. Doesn't that annoy you?
I respect them for that, though.
Oh.
I respect them for that, though.
Because?
Why would you wallow? I mean, you've had greatness in the past, and you always expect it from your team. And it's just, as a fan, I think it says something if your fans still believe you can win the Super Bowl no matter what happens, rather than just saying, you know what, we're not going to the Super Bowl anyways. We're probably going to have another losing season, and people stop coming to the games, people stop supporting, and then they're just not buying into it anymore.
I got you.
But the Dallas Cowboy fans are always bought into the Dallas Cowboys. Aaron
Rodgers said at the end of the season, because he's a bad man. That's my man right there. I mean, Aaron Rodgers a bad somebody, man. He said at the end of the season, no need to panic. We don't need to rebuild. We need to retool. And I thought that was an important message to send. How do you feel about what he had to say, and what do you guys feel you need so you can end up at this point next year instead of another team?
I feel the same way. We did what we did this year with a lot of guys in different spots. And I think that speaks to what kind of guys we already have. So at this point, we need to get guys healthy. And like Aaron said, we need to reload, and we need to fill certain spots. Those spots I can't tell you, which ones, but we need to fill certain spots to make sure that that injury bug doesn't catch up to us. We don't run out of gas, and we can have guys playing the entire season.
Are you looking forward to playing more running back? Do you consider yourself the running back for the team now, even though Eddie Lacy's going to be coming back? Probably.
I don't consider myself the running back. Training camp always has a way of working everything out. I don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. I don't know what's going to happen with Eddie either. But I know I still have to go out there and work, and I'm excited for the opportunity to be able to compete in order to be the running back or whatever my role is.
All right. Now, y'all ran out of gas, Ty Montgomery, in the NFC Championship game, and the Atlanta Falcons steamrolled over y'all. Is that what we're going to see in the Super Bowl, or are you expecting something different?
Are we going to see the same Atlanta team?
That's right.
So, yes.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes. I believe we will see the same Atlanta team. They are clicking on all cylinders. Both sides of the football. Special teams, I believe so as well. I mean, I believe they punted the ball like 2 times against us, 3 times maybe. I mean, just nonstop. Matt Ryan was just flying down the field. He's got some beasts of receivers. I mean, Julio Jones is Julio Jones. They got running backs.
Now, you know how you sounded right now, right? You know how you sounded right now. Right now, you sounding like, damn, even if we were healthy, we wouldn't have beat them. That's how you sound.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just telling you how you sounded to the outside ear.
I'm just trying to give credit where credit is due because those guys are playing in the Super Bowl right now. The Green Bay Packers aren't playing in the Super Bowl right now, but the Atlanta Falcons are. So
are you picking the Atlanta Falcons to win this game?
That would be my pick, would be the Atlanta Falcons.
Because, I mean, Tom Brady is on the other side of the football.
He is on the other side of the football, and I understand that, you don't really want to bet against Tom Brady and what they got going over there in New England. Mm-hmm. But, after seeing the Atlanta team and playing against them twice this year and understanding what they got over there and what they're doing, I believe they have a chance. I know a lot of people are on this New England train right now, rightfully so.
Right.
But, I really believe in Atlanta.
I got to admit to you, man, I love Atlanta and what I'm seeing. I think they look big time. Here's my issue, and help me out with this, because you're in your second year in the league, just completed your second year in the league. I know you can play, but, again, you're at a running back spot or what have you. If you on the defensive side of the ball, I might look at you a little bit differently because I'm thinking about talent, yes, but on offense, your talent can propel you. Defensively, even though you got talent, my issue is guys 22, 23, 24 years old, never been in the Super Bowl. You going up against this 39-year-old dude who's a surgeon and has proven it 4 times at least in capturing Super Bowl titles. Doesn't that concern y'all when you think about picking Atlanta for this game?
It doesn't concern me. One reason why I say that, I don't mean this in an arrogant way by any means, but I just turned 24. I'm in the second year in my league. And I made the transition from wide receiver to running back at the NFL level in the middle of the season. Those guys get paid too. Right. We're not the only people getting paid to play this game, and those guys are playing it very well. And they've gotten to this point for a reason, and that's why I believe in them.
Give me a score. Just speculate. I mean, it's no big deal. Ain't gonna hold you to it.
I'm so bad with scores. I'm so bad with scores.
Well, how about this? How many points do you think Atlanta's offense is going to put up in this game?
I think they have a chance to put up 30 points.
Okay. I got them losing 38-34. So I got them scoring about 34 points. Man, I'm happy for you, man. All the best to you. Let me ask you this question. Why else are you here? Because, I mean, you just chilling out, just enjoying the Super Bowl festivities? That's what you're doing?
Yeah, just hanging out, just enjoying the Super Bowl festivities. I have family in the Houston area as well, so I'm hanging out with some family.
You got families all over Texas.
All over Texas.
You went to school out in Stanford. What's up with that?
Went to get that education.
That's right.
You know what? I lived in Texas and in the Southeast my entire life. I was born in Mississippi.
Okay.
Going to play over there, it was the Pac-12 at the time.
Right.
Going to play over there would put me in other parts of the country I've never been before.
Right.
So I'm going to get a great education, play great football, and I'm going to go places I've never been.
Well, I'm proud of you, man. I'm happy for you. For me personally, it would have been USC just because of the weather. Just because of the weather. Because it's cold in Northern California, man. It's cold out there.
It's not that bad.
Really?
It's not that bad.
Really? See, that's you being in the South. See, you ain't come on the Northeast. Come to Boston and come to New York City.
Well, I live in Green Bay right now.
That's true. That's true. And by the way, I happen to believe I don't give a damn what anybody says. That cold weather, playing football in cold weather, that's got to hurt.
It's a different beast.
Everybody can't handle it. Everybody can handle it. All the best to you, bro.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. Tom Montgomery for the Green Bay Packers right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. 866-729 ESPN is the number to call up. That's 866-729-3776. The biggest medical center on earth isn't found on the East Coast or the West Coast. It's found in Houston, Texas, America's third coast. Houston is home to the Texas Medical Center, or as they say it, TMC. It's the largest medical city on the planet. Each year, the TMC's 21 hospitals serve over 8 million patients. Its 3 medical schools and 6 nursing schools educate tomorrow's medical leaders. More doctors, nurses, and scientists work at the TMC than any other site in the world. With over 100,000 employees, it's the 8th largest business district in America. Every 3 minutes, a surgery begins at the TMC. Every 20 minutes, a baby is born. The Texas Medical Center leads the world in clinical research. TMC doctors and scientists are at the forefront of life-saving medical advances, developing new treatments, drugs, and devices to improve the health of humanity. Find out more about the innovations happening at the Texas Medical Center at tmc.edu. It's Stephen A. It's ESPN Radio. It's more of your phone calls and more guests in a minute, live from Radio Row in Houston, Texas, home of Super Bowl 51.
Brings them to their feet here in Cleveland.
LeBron James and the Cavaliers once again have the best record in the Eastern Conference and are storming toward the 1 seed.
Hits it at the buzzer.
Do they have what it takes to repeat as champions?
Kyrie Irving. Come on. Hangs and hooks it in. Are you kidding me? Seriously?
This Saturday night, they head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Presented by GNC.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm awaiting a special guest. Hopefully he'll come on the show any minute now. Hopefully I'll catch up with him. If we don't, we don't. But I definitely am looking forward. I'm not going to even tell y'all who it is. But the second he comes on this show, if he is brave enough to come on this show, I will be shocked. I will tell you that right now. Stephen A. Smith's ESPN Radio, 98.7 FM in New York, 710 ESPN LA, and, of course, Sirius XM, ESPN Channel 80. Nationwide, 866-729-3776 is the number to call up. It's 866-729-ESPN. I've got the New England Patriots winning 38-34, and to me, listen, I know about Julio Jones. I know about Mohamed Sanu and Taylor Gabriel. I know about Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, and, of course, that offensive line with Matt Ryan. Now, Max and Alex, this kid, Alex Mack, he's a bit hobbled, and they don't know how healthy he's going to be. I think it's due to his ankle, if I remember correctly. They don't know how healthy he's going to be. Whatever way you slice it, he's your center. So if he's not 100%, you have a situation where you're a bit compromised because, again, you can apply pressure to Matt Ryan up the middle, and then it could be problematic for you. So those are the kind of things that you have to worry about. Those are the kind of things that you have to think about. That is what it comes down to, and when I think about them, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get back to the callers in just a minute. It is my pleasure to have my next guest on the line. Are you ready for this? Because y'all got to remember, this is the Stephen A. Smith Show. This dude is a member of the Dallas Cowboys. A Dallas Cowboy is on my show. But I'm going to say this to you, Terrence. I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down to you, okay? I know this is shocking for you. I actually have no problem with the Dallas Cowboys as a team. I have no problem with the players. I hate y'all fans. I can't stand Dallas Cowboy fans. I had to tell that to Jason Witt last year. I had to tell that to Michael Irvin, who's hiding, ducking, and weaving, hiding behind bushes to avoid me these days. I had to tell it to Emmitt Smith. I got to tell it to Primetime. Now I'm going to tell it to you. I have no problem with Dallas Cowboy players. I got love for a lot of y'all. It's them damn fans. That's why I can't stand y'all. It's them damn fans. Now, you're a Dallas Cowboy.
Yes, sir.
I know you're here to promote it for a couple of things, and we'll get into that for a second. But is there anything as a Dallas Cowboy you would like to say to me on behalf of Cowboy Nation? Anything at all? I can take it. I deserve it. Go ahead.
I appreciate you too much, Stephen. Hey, I'm not going to even go there.
I got you.
I appreciate you, man. Look, I watch you too much in the morning, man. I appreciate you way too much.
I appreciate it. I love your skills. I love the way you play. And I love, and don't tell nobody, but I actually love Dak and Zeke. I love them. And Dez is my boy. I love him. Just don't tell nobody because I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. But I got to applaud y'all on the year that y'all had this year. I did not see that coming. 13-3, which you really should have been 14-2 if it wasn't for the last game of the season. We all know that y'all didn't care about the Eagles. Y'all already clinched everything. What happened in the game against Green Bay in the playoffs?
Just going against that man, Aaron Rodgers, man. Going against a guy like that, you can't afford to have too many turnovers. And when you go against a guy like that, that's really, 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 really good, he makes you pay. And towards the end, we just gave him too much time on the clock, and he does what he do best, and he put us out. That's clear and dry.
Do you believe that if you're going against any other quarterback in the NFL, y'all would have still been playing? If it were not for basically, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, sir. He's the best in the world. That if you give Rodgers more than 10 seconds, he's going to get the job done. And if we was playing somebody else, nobody else would have made that throw or that scramble to the left, but him. And so that's somebody. It's kind of hard when you lose, but you really can't get mad at him because, I mean, that's just something that he does. And so I finally came to the realization about last week that, hey, it's over with.
All right.
Yeah.
It's over with. It's done. It's over with. We got to move on from here. So next year, how do you get better? What do you do to make sure that what happened against Green Bay doesn't happen next season?
just taking care of the small things. I just think we had too many penalties that game, and just not getting after the quarterback basically. Yep. And so when you play against good teams like the Packers and you have too many mistakes and too many turnovers and stuff like that, you're not going to win. And it's playoff football. And whenever you play against the Packers, Rodgers, and you give them too much time to where they can come back or make noise, then they're going to do it. The first time when we beat them, we didn't give them no chance to come back. But then the second time when we played them in the playoffs, they had a chance to come back. And so when you have the best on the planet doing it, he's going to be the best.
We're talking to Terrence Williams, wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Don't faint. He's on the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio. Yes, a Dallas Cowboy is on this show. Here's the deal. I never saw Dak and Zeke coming. I knew they were going to be good. I knew Dak was underestimated because I watched him in Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be that good. Zeke, I'm like, yeah, he's going to be a beast because he's playing behind that offensive line. He's going to do his thing, but I still didn't expect him to be that good.
Yeah.
We could see it from the outside, but not to the degree that y'all see it, putting on the same uniform, being inside that locker room, playing on the field with them. What makes these two so special?
I'm not going to need a lie to you, Steve. This happened during training camp. Whenever Coach Gary used to give Tony the days off, and they used to put Dak in with the ones, so Dak could get in, take some reps with the ones. And so I will never forget this happened on a 2-minute drive on Thursday during practice, during training camp, and Tony didn't practice. And Coach Gary, he made up this impossible 2-minute. I think we had like 70 yards to go with 28 seconds, one timeout. And Dak drives us all the way down the field and throws the touchdown to Dez Bryant. And then we come back the next week, they try him again, and they try him again, and pass and pass and pass. And then finally, the first preseason game versus the Rams, when that happened, that was when we was like, yeah, we finally got a player now, because too many people, they doubt him. They think that Dak is playing against sorrier people during training camp. Then we go to preseason. Then when they think he's not playing against the starters, it's all sorry players. Then we go to the regular season, and he's putting up numbers. Well, Dak is just one of those calm, collected dudes that no matter if we're winning, losing, or blowing somebody out, he's the same guy. He's not no guy that comes in the huddle whenever we're losing, trying to give us these speeches that we're not trying to hear. He's just cool, calm, and collected. And when you have a quarterback that's so calm like that, man, you can't lose.
Well, I'm not going to say you depressed me, but I'm worried now because obviously the Cowboys ain't going anywhere. Loudmouth guards, that's what you're promoting today, being here. Talk to me about this product right here. I mean, fresh mouth guard brand with tons of cool designs. I mean, talk to me about this, man.
It's just something that I started wearing last year during the Halloween game. I had on the vampire fangs, man, and it's just a chance just to take you back to your childhood, back in the Gap. I mean, look, you know, guys back in the day, they used to put on the orange sleeves and different stuff to stand out who they are, and that's just a way that when you're playing football, if you don't like to talk smack, like, you can get something creative on your mouth guard and just ball out from there.
I ain't going to front to you. I hope Mouth Guard doesn't get mad at me, but I think y'all need to go and hire Geno Smith. Hire Geno Smith. You know, talking smack to IK and Polly and got his jaw cracked in the locker room. This could protect your jaw, too. This will protect your jaw, too. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah. I'm proud of you, bro. And then listen, again, could you please tell Cowboy, actually don't tell Cowboy Nation, just tell your team, I have no problem with the Cowboys. Yeah. Players. I can't stand your fans. I despise your fans. They're annoying to me. And by the way, half of them are my family members. I just can't take it. I just can't take it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you know that.
I got a question, Steve.
Yes, sir, man. Please.
All right. So, week 1, can I give you
Go ahead. You know, that's fair. That's fair. When you're talking about when.
Because you aired me out on TV.
That's right. That's right.
I did. Me out.
I did. I said that wasn't the smartest play.
You kept me in the house for 2 weeks.
Oh, really? I did that?
You kept me in the house for 2 weeks, man.
I didn't mean to do that.
And the only thing I wanted to do is just let you know what was going on through my mind.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Look, Terrence Williams, go ahead. Take it away. Take it away.
and I'm sorry to my Cowboy fans about week 1, but okay. But when that play happened, it's 3rd and 10.
Yep.
And they call the play to where I'm supposed to run a 4-yard out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's 3rd and 10, 9 seconds left.
Yep.
We're on the 50-yard line.
Correct.
What I was thinking was that when I barely caught the ball the first time, when going towards the sideline the first time, when I first caught it, I figured to myself that they can't make a 63-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of going out of
Go ahead.
Instead of going out of bounds,
right,
I figured to go back out of bounds.
Right.
But it didn't happen like that.
Okay, but let me say this to you.
But it didn't happen like that.
I got it, because we got to get ready to go. I got another guest. But I want you to know this. Even though I sat up there and said, damn it, that was not the smartest play. I said, hey, good dude, good player, bad mistake, long season. And I let it go. I never said another word. Now, that's usually not like me, but I gave you that look.
My man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Dallas Cowboys right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio. Back with your calls and another guest in a minute.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it! Yes, I am live in Houston, Texas, Radio Row, site of Super Bowl 51, live from Houston. As I previously stated, home of the Texas Medical Center, the world's largest medical city, dedicated to improving the health and wellness of the world. It is my honor and privilege to have this next brother on this show with me today. He is an absolute stud. He is one of the best running backs in college football. May have been the best, but damn it, he was at LSU and they had issues, okay? Okay? He wisely decided to forego his final year at LSU. He's entering the NFL draft. I don't see any reason why he won't be a top 10 pick, the number 1 running back taken in this upcoming NFL draft. I'm talking about the one and only Leonard Fournette sitting right in front of me from LSU. What's going on, Big Tom? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Blessed to be here right now.
I know you are. Take me back to this year and what this year was like for you. I imagine that it was not anything like you had anticipated when you had decided to come to LSU. Talk to me about that.
Well, most definitely, my injury started in a week before our first game, and they gave me the decision not to play for the first game, to sit out. So I did rehab for a couple of days, got back out there with my team, and played in the game. So I was kind of just hurting my ankle more and more, but that's my brothers. You know, at the end of the day, some people won't understand the competitive nature of players, period. I mean, that's just what we do.
I want to know something from you. I imagine you know what a big-time player you can be. But we looked at LSU, and whether it was the quarterback, whether it was what some LSU alums, highlighted as the predictability of your former coach Les Miles, whatever the case may be, there was always something about LSU. Did you find yourself this last year at LSU having any regrets about going there?
No, not at all, man. I didn't. My first year there, I enjoyed it through this year too. You know, despite the injury, how hard we worked, how hard I worked, and I wanted to be the best that I can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, God does everything for a reason. I wouldn't secondhand guess it.
I want everybody to understand something. We have no questions about Leonard Fournette. First year freshman, 187 carries, 1,034 yards. That's 5.5 yards a carry, y'all. The second year, 300 carries, 1,952 yards. That's 6.5 yards per carry, y'all. And then last year, in just 7 games, 129 carries, 843 yards. Again, averaging 6.5 yards a carry, a 6.2 yards per carry average in his career. So, damn it wasn't you, okay? With that being said, last question about this. I think that Nick Saban has kind of ruined the SEC because we look at Alabama and we say, all right, Alabama, LSU. Then you saw Texas A&M want to come up with the whole Johnny Manziel era or whatever. Auburn with Cam Newton. They had their little moment, et cetera, et cetera. But over the last couple of years, it's been all about Alabama. What is it like playing in the SEC for a school other than Alabama, considering all the notoriety that they get?
I mean, man, some people say ACC good, the Big 12 or whatever, but, man, SEC, man, every team, it's like the NFL. Right. I mean, everybody plays physical. You come out there with each game plan, and like they have teams like Kentucky, Missouri, who people think that's not good, but it's a battle each and every week. You have to come with your A game because anybody can be beaten anytime.
What are you expecting now that you're entering the NFL draft? Is there a system? Is there an ideal location that you would prefer? Is there a particular coach you would love to play for? When you think about your future in the NFL, what are those aspirations for you?
Man, my aspiration, since a kid, just to make it to the NFL. You know, it's crazy.
Well, you're going to do that.
Yeah, I know.
All you got to do is make sure you stay healthy up until the draft. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, most definitely. But, man, it doesn't matter. You know, God giving me this opportunity to get paid for a sport that I love to play. You know, I have no problem with either team I go to or the coaching. You know, you have to make the best advantage of everything.
How good do you think you're going to be on the NFL level?
We'll see. You know, I don't have any predictions for myself. You know, my main focus is just to work on my craft, just to get better. Because I know the next level, you know, you're playing against grown men who've been in there for like 7 years, and this is some of my first years coming up.
Well, let me give you an example. For example, last year when you were playing, not this past season, but the season before, when you rushed for nearly 2,000 yards, there was a dude by the name of Ezekiel Elliott coming out of Ohio State. When that brother came on first take, he was like, look, man, this is what I'm going to do. Watch me. I'm telling you right now, this team get me. This is what they're going to get. Then he went out there and he did his thing. Now, different personalities, different strokes for different folks. I get that. But how much did what you see from him help you in terms of your confidence level going to this next level? Has it had any impact at all? Or are you the same old Leonard Fournette you've always been in terms of your confidence?
I mean, he elevated the game for the running backs. But as far as my confidence, I'm going to remain the same. You know, and that's something my mother, and my father taught me growing up in church, man. Remain humble, you know, because this talent, it could be taken away from you at any moment. So my main focus is to remain focused, stay the same, never change.
Leonard Fournette right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Do you feel like there's an element of style that you need to modify, change a little bit? Because I saw you run over a lot of dudes in college. But the NFL is a little bit different. I'm not sure that's the wisest approach to take. What is your attitude about that?
Man, like, I don't know. It's kind of 50-50 because you don't want to take a lot of licks. You know, you don't want to get hit a lot. You have to make a couple people miss. So, I mean, I have it in my game. I just never really used it. That's all.
Well, no, I'm saying, why didn't you use it? Because you saw boys in front of you and you just said, look, I want to run over you because how dare you think you could tackle me? I mean, what was the reason?
I mean, well, I ain't going to say boys because most of those guys are older than me.
That's right.
I mean,
I got you. Weaker. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
I got you.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's in my game. You know, I show it when I want to, and when everything we do is in a movement. It's a moment thing. You know, it's fast.
Right. What didn't you show on the collegiate level?
I don't know. Some people say I'm slow. You know, they don't think I'm fast. I worked on my blocking during the previous years. I've got better on that. You know, some people, the system I was in, we ran the ball a lot.
Right.
So they think I can't catch.
Right.
So
I was getting ready to ask you about that because I'm looking at this Super Bowl and I'm seeing 2 pass catches out of Atlanta's backfield. I'm like, damn it, that helps. That helps you catch the ball.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I know how to catch.
We're gonna see you catching the ball on the next level.
Yes, sir.
I got you. This Panini.
Yeah.
Panini for America. I want you to talk to me. It's the exclusive trading card partner of the NFL and the NFLPA. You're here on behalf of them. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm very excited to be here at Super Bowl 51 with the Panini trading card deal, man. Exclusive, you know, one of the first running backs to have it. And it's a blessing. And for them to recognize me and to give me this opportunity, I'll make sure I represent them well.
Okay. Before I let you get on out of here, have you done your homework on offensive lines in the NFL? Do you know who has one and who does not? Okay.
Yeah,
do you need my help? Do you need me to tell you who don't have an offensive line?
Yeah, you can help me a little bit.
You know what? I've looked at a couple of people. And I got a couple of teams that I think I need you to avoid. You know what? I'm not satisfied with the Jets. I don't think you should go there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not satisfied with the Giants. I don't think you should go there. So stay the hell out of New York. As much as I'd love to see you in New York, you don't need to be in New York because you need an offensive line. You see what I'm saying? Stay away from the New York teams. The Jacksonville Jaguars, should I throw them in that equation? Maybe. We might want to avoid that, you know. Pittsburgh's nice, but they don't need you. Right. They got Le'Veon, all right? I love Hugh Jackson, but damn man, am I supposed to tell him to go to Cleveland? Am I supposed to tell him to look forward to that? I don't know. Man, let me let you get on out there. All the best to you. I'm proud of you. Happy for you, man. I know you're going to do major things on the next level. All the best to you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Happy to meet you, my man.
That.
The one and only Leonard Fournette. He'll be back on because, you see, I want y'all to know the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is allergic to scrubs. We don't like scrubs on this show. Leonard Fournette is not a scrub, so he'll be back. I'll holler at you, man,
yes,
down
sir.
the road. Leonard Fournette, LSU. Up next, you might have heard of this brother. I ain't going to tell you his name. What I am going to tell you is that the brother caught a touchdown to win a Super Bowl. I am going to tell you he was on that level. You understand what I'm saying to you? And he's going to be up here next with yours truly, Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
Reverse jam brings them to their feet here in Cleveland.
LeBron James and the Cavaliers once again have the best record in the Eastern Conference and are storming toward the 1 seed.
Hits it at the buzzer.
Do they have what it takes to repeat as champions?
Kyrie Irving. Come on. Hangs and hooks it in. Are you kidding me? Seriously?
This Saturday night, they head to the Garden to face the Knicks. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Presented by GNC.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Before I get to my next guest, wanted to let everybody know about something called Superfest. It's an inclusive football/cheer clinic with the purpose to promote and showcase inclusion and allow youth and young adults with and without developmental disabilities, Down syndrome, autism, cerebral palsy, Williams syndrome, etc., to participate together in an activity that is part of the exciting Super Bowl or exciting football weekend. It's Superfest, and it's designed to create an environment where people with disabilities are welcome, not just allowed, at an activity with NFL players. So I think it's important to mention that, and I think that's a great thing that's taking place here at Super Bowl week. It's my honor and privilege to have my next guest here with me, right in front of me. He's only here for a few minutes, but he only needs a few minutes and don't really need that much of an introduction because Super Bowl MVPs are well known. I'm talking about the Super Bowl MVP for 2009, played the 2008 season, Super Bowl obviously in 2009. Y'all remember that catch against Arizona in the the right end of the end zone. I'm talking about San Antonio Holmes, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Jets, and beyond. He's right here, former Super Bowl MVP, right here with Stephen A. What's going on, big time? How you doing, man?
I'm good, Stephen.
What's it like for you to be back here right now? And by the way, he's here on behalf of Sports Science. Let's make sure we remember that. What's it like for you to be here, Super Bowl week, knowing how you're in the record books for a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl moment? What's that like for you?
The dream lives on, and as long as you continue chasing that dream, you'll never fall short of what it is that you see unless you walk away from it. And I walked away at a great time in my career that I've won the Super Bowl at the age of 23 and became the Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
I think the second youngest to maybe Tom Brady,
Yep.
To being the MVP and to carry that on my shoulders and know that it's about my city, the place where I came from, small town in Belgrade, to becoming a mainstream person that the entire world knows who he is. And I wore my hat today that says MVP, Stephen, and I wore this hat because I don't want people to ask me who I am and what my name is.
Right.
It's read the hat and pay your respect.
That's right. You don't even care. They don't even have to say San Antonio.
No.
You don't have to say Mr. Holmes.
MVP?
Just MVP. That's all you care about. That's all you care about right there. How has that changed life for you, man?
It's made life even better because now I got an opportunity to set myself up on a platform that the world can see the hard work and consistency that it took for me to become a Super Bowl champion, but also off the field, everything that I'm doing to donate and giving to kids and helping them better their lives, mentoring and showing these kids that no matter what you do in life, you can't resort to violence. Everything has to be about a godly, loving man who fears nothing but the word of God. And that is to protect everything that he has given to us, and that's to help everybody continue to live a better life.
That's a beautiful message. San Antonio Holmes. I'm sorry, MVP. I don't want to call him San Antonio Holmes. I'm call him MVP right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Do you ever, you all look back on life and we might have regrets. When I think about you, I think about the fact that you left Pittsburgh. Now, obviously, you got paid, and you went to New York Jets, and that's fine. But I'm thinking about the Steelers and what they've been able to maintain in terms of credibility as a franchise, a perennial playoff team per se. You won the Super Bowl with them. You won the Super Bowl with Big Ben Roethlisberger, who's a future Hall of Famer. You ever look back and wish that you had stayed, or did you have no issues whatsoever with the fact that you departed?
To be quite frank and honest with you, it was never my choice to leave Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right. Wow.
I was a fan as a kid, and my dream came true to draft it and to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and not only play for them, but to lead the team to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Stephen A., I played in high school state championship game. I didn't get a chance to do much in the game, but we won.
Right.
Stephen A., I went to the national championship as a freshman.
That's right. Ohio State.
I didn't play in the game, Stephen A., but we won.
Right.
It's time to play in the Super Bowl.
Right.
What are you going to do now? Right. This was the time to be
and
great.
you got it done. By the way,
this was the time to be great.
9 receptions, 131 yards. More like you're just a lucky catch. You showed up.
Showed
See,
up.
that's big with me. That's big with me. Because, see, I'm allergic to scrubs. I just can't help it, Antonio. I just can't help it. I'm allergic to scrubs. If you can't play, I don't want to bother you, but I'm just allergic to you. But look, man, because we only got a minute left before we get on out of here. Talk to me about this sports science real quick, your association with them. What's going on with that?
With John Brinkis, he and I are talking about the brink of moments, and running this podcast and what moment changed you in life. And I think the segment is going to be really big because he's going to come down and do features of myself from Belle Glade and the 19 to 25 or 30 players that have joined the NFL from Belle Glade, Florida.
Wow.
We want to run stories on all of these guys so that they can build a platform so that our young kids of our youth of Belle Glade can see that there's a lot of good come out of here when you resort to sticking to the grounds and working your tail off to become great.
I'm always here for you, baby.
Thank you, Stephen A.
Happy for you, proud of you. I can call him San Antonio. I can do that. Because you know what? I got to make sure y'all know who he is. But when you see him, you don't call him that. You call him MVP. The hat is on his head.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear Mr. Holmes. I want to hear San Antonio. I want to hear MVP. I'm rolling with the Patriots. Who you picking real quick?
Oh, I'm going with the Patriots.
Patriots. I'm going with the Patriots 38-34. Tom Brady against a young secondary wet behind the ears, breast smelling like Similac. There's nothing to talk about. I'll holler at y'all Monday. Peace and love, everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Stephen A.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.
Saturday night, LeBron James and the Cavaliers head to the Garden.
Hits it at the buzzer!
To face Carmelo Anthony and the Knicks. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and on ESPN Radio. Presented by GNC.